Hey, what's good, y'all? It's the Cadillac of Tokyo, and I'm back again with another video.
Say
Yep, yep,
yes.
yep. Hey, okay. Like, comment, and subscribe if you rock with what I'm doing. Like, subscribe. But today we're talking about MF Doom and his tragic passing and all his music in general. And today I'm with my guy, Ken Yamazaki, Kenny Paris.
What's poppin'? What's
Right, yeah,
poppin'?
one of my good friends and stuff. He's in Japan right now, and we're just here to talk. Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
man, tell him about yourself, man.
Kenny Yamazaki, man. That's about it. Just living life in Japan right now, and I'm calling in to you, George. You know, it was crazy, man. Because when MF Doom passed, one of the first things I thought of was like, damn, dude, like this was like me and George's shit back in the day, and I mean even today, but more so back in the
Yeah,
day. You know.
yeah. Like I always remember, us sitting with that Hoe Cakes record, just sitting in
Whole
your
cakes.
bedroom, just listening to it.
Yeah.
And
Well, I remember getting that vinyl too. I had like those super janky turntables, and I don't know if you drove us or if we went with Bo and Chad to Fifth
yeah,
Element, and I think like you suggested like Black Alicious and then MF Doom because this was like, well, I don't know, how do you remember this?
I,
How do you remember
man,
this?
I don't know. There's been so many times going up to Fifth Element and all that stuff.
Yeah.
One time is I remember we were in line and then there was like this Hispanic dude behind us and I was like, "Oh, what should I get in there?" And he was like, "Oh, let me get nonfiction or something." And I remember the whole Black Alicious days too. I remember those very
Yeah.
clearly, and I do remember every single instrumental on that tape. I remember basically everything. But you got to tell me how this went. It's like a blur.
Yeah, I just remember. I remember getting those turntables, and I was like, "I'm gonna be DJ Unique." You feel me? And then you were rapping, and you were rapping at the time, and I can't remember how I ended up with the Whole Cakes. It was like just some. It was like two songs off of Food, and it had the instrumentals on one side and the song on
Yep.
the other. And I remember when I first got it, I would scratch over the song
Yeah.
side, and there was already scratching on it, so I'm scratching over the scratching, right?
Yeah.
But I remember too, on the instrumental side, I would scratch a little bit, and then you would
Yeah.
freestyle during the verse, and then I'd pick back up during the hook and whatnot. But like that, I remember that first album, and I can't remember who's on Potholders with MF Doom, but that dude was dope too.
Yeah.
But Doom had like the verse on that shit.
Yeah.
for
Now
sure.
that I listen to Doom now, I'm like, man, this dude was like the sixth man of the Wu or something.
I mean, dude, he's your rapper's favorite rapper.
Right? Like if somebody told me Drake never heard of
sure.
MF Doom, I'd be like,
sure.
you're capping. Like you're completely lying. Yeah.
For sure. Well, and what's crazy is like all my knowledge of him back then was just that vinyl, and then the Food vinyl also. Because we didn't, dude. This was high school, bro. We didn't really have the internet like we do today.
Yeah.
So like and dude, he was on Rhymesayers, like and then what? Def Jux, and then some other
and
shit.
then Stone Throw.
Stone's Throw, obviously, but him being on Rhymesayers is what really put me on, because he was on Rhymesayers' website, and I would listen to like previews of his albums that he released on Rhymesayers, and that's all I knew of him.
Exactly, and the only reason we knew of Rhymesayers is because it's in Minneapolis. It's right down the street, basically.
Yep, Minneapolis, that local shit. But after developing my like underground hip hop tastes, and especially like MF Doom being like becoming one of my favorite rappers and producers. You know, that exposed me to Dilla, Madlib, and
Quasimodo.
And then you discover MF Doom's like special herbs and spices. Like, dude, his catalog is insane, dude. It's insane.
And shout out to Madlib for that too, because he's the
Madlib
producer. You know what I mean? And he really did kill it. And it's crazy that he resurfaced, 2019, 2018 with Freddie Gibbs and got a Grammy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Dude, insane. Well, and like, I don't know, like, and Madlib, shout out Madlib, dude. He's the last one out of like those three. Those three are like my top
three.
It's just those are legends,
right.
bro.
Like,
and
this is the,
like
the bloodline of Dilla type shit.
Yeah, and I don't, and look at today with all this lo-fi. Huge resurgence of like lo-fi, I mean, that's all rooted in Doom, Madlib, and Dilla, and I guess Fly Low too is on that list. Flying Lotus, man, RJD2 kinda, like there's roots in like all those genres of what you're hearing today, but specifically for sure.
Exactly. Doom. And for me it all kind of stems from Doom. Like, I was listening to Killer Cam before I listened to Doom, but then once I heard Doom and then the special herbs and spices, you remember that? Like when they had the Ghostface Killer and the Cam flip on there? Both hands crusty, chilling with my man Rusty, low down.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it's crazy because I remember that transition too, because you had me on. I mean, bro, you put me on from like being a punk rocker emo kid to like, you were like, dude, we can't hang out if you're gonna dress like this.
Right.
And you gave me a G Unit jersey, and you were like, and a little mix CD, and it was like 3-6 and Wu-Tang, and I'm trying to think what else.
Probably 50 Cent.
50, but like Dipset, more like 50 was more mainstream, but like some older references, But from that transition, from like listening to that to that underground, I mean, it inspired. I mean, it shaped a lot of my life, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember like all the like Facts for Fiction, our hip hop group, dude, and
I completely forget what was my rap name? George Anonymous.
You were like something like that.
Trash shit, yeah.
Just some like cliche, like underground sounding,
like you could point him out. Oh, he a cornball.
yeah. But bro, like you had the talent, dude. Because I remember, along with like being introduced to Doom and discovering him with you, we, and that's the thing is like I don't really know, like, because I owe it to you. You put me on. I don't know who put you on, but I want to say it was like Dylan and John G, because that's when we started going to like Scribble Jam too. And there was like some other kind of like low key Rhyme Sayers concerts that had like living legends on the lineup, and Scratch Bastard and those like rap battles and things like that.
Like the Blaze battles. I feel like for me, I guess it was just like me just doing my research or just looking online. Like, I'm pretty sure I found most of the MF Doom stuff I probably found on LimeWire at the time. I remember at the time I was listening to Fat Joe heavy, Dipset.
Yeah, I remember that.
And yeah, that it is true. Like Chad, Bo, Dylan, because Dylan, he had all the Dipset records. So so me and John G would be at his crib and we'd be playing Dipset.
And he had the Stantons, bro. He had the nice Stantons.
But what did you have? You had the Techniques.
Oh man, no. I had like, I had seen like the turntables. I can't remember what store it was called, but it was like on the top floor of Maplewood Mall, and it was like in the back corner where they just sold CDs. It was back in the day, but it was like some entry level turntables, and like I remember Dylan like kind of like laughing, not laughing at me or at them, but just being like, "Yo, these are so terrible." But it was whatever. I had them. I did what I could.
You know,
with them.
and that's how it starts out. You know, like you can't really be mad that you have the shittiest shit and you don't know shit. You know.
Right. But I remember too, like, and here's another thing. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, bro, put us. I think it put me onto like ASAP Rock, and dude, not even just Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but like Open Iris, and like all the local videos, man. You know, like shout out to all those too, because those put us onto a lot of good music too, man.
I wouldn't be listening to ASAP Rock. I wouldn't be listening to Dilated Peoples. I won't, because we were just like 13 years old, and then these kids are like 17, 18, in their 20s, skating, and so they kind of put me onto music taste, and that's one thing that
Black Star, bro, Talib, all dude, skate videos. I owe so much to skate videos, man.
Mos Def has always been a man, like, and even like with like the clothing and shit, like I feel like.
100%, like 100%. The fashion.
We were definitely like MF Doom. Then it's the SBs. Then it's and then me. I'm on some G Units and the fitteds and the whoopty.
Dude, I mean, it's crazy. Like, it's. I mean, so much from skateboarding has influenced what we listen to today and how we dress today. You know what I'm saying? And just culture in general today, man, is so. Streetwear, skateboard influenced, and dude, it makes me question like how many kids today that are like buying up the dunks just because MF Doom died. How many know though?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Really, like what's yeah, right. And I, like, could I like maybe
I could do like I could do hoe cakes. I got this girl and she wants
yeah. But like without like really referencing like Genius.com or something like that. I mean, Doom's lyrics are so like they go so over your head you can't. It's hard to remember them.
Right, and that's why I was saying it was like that woo shit. It was like you really had to sit down and be like, what is this dude really saying? Like, it was so complex, and then, but it was...
Well, and so many different meanings to what he's... I mean, some of the shit's so out of pocket, you're just like, all right, I guess that's just what he's saying. It doesn't even matter, because the wordplay is so good, it's just like, all right. Like, shit.
And it's funny because, I feel like when we were younger, we really couldn't comprehend what he was saying in some of his songs. But now that you listen, now you're like, oh, okay, he kind of tried to... I was just listening to Doomsday or something, and he had this song on it where he kind of was doing his own Nas One Love type thing, and then I was like, oh, I couldn't understand that when I was 13, 14 and stuff like that, but now I can comprehend that. Or even hoe cakes, like... I got this girl and she wants me to do...
Well, Super.
Right. And he's really telling a real story. Like, oh, she said niggas ain't about shit. I wonder if she meant it. I doubt it.
Dude. I mean, that whole Food album, just all the food references is just genius. He's next level, man. I mean, like, and I mean, we kind of got on a tangent about like us and growing up and shit, but I mean, he really did change hip hop, man, as far as like what you can do with it and like what's possible, I mean, and that goes for Dilla and Madlib too, man.
They changed things for real, like
and they kept it real is what's really important, is like samples and loops. Like it's you can't compare it to like some of my favorites today, Thugger and Uzi and Travis, but it's uncomparable. That's a whole new genre.
Yeah, it's not comparable, but you can see where it comes from. It's like all of these alternative sounds that they've used. You know what I mean? and you see what they were doing. You know what I mean? Like, look at the people who were out at that time, and then you see what samples they're using. You seeing what they decide to flip, what loops to get, and the content too.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So some like one person I can say who I feel like it was really heavily influenced was like Tyler the Creator and like kind of like the Odd Future camp, you know. And I've seen videos of like Tyler meeting
Doom. I saw Doom
and
Earl,
freaking out, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, like I would be the same way, you know, if I ever met Doom, man. Like,
right.
I feel like we were supposed to see Doom and he canceled at First Avenue or something like that, and we ended up not going or something like that. But that, you know, that alone is almost like the experience of you know, trying to go see Doom.
Right.
Is like
you either getting through the door, or you getting kicked out, you know, or the same thing happened with Wu-Tang. You know, I'm like 16 years old. It's a school night. And you know, my friend Ted Wallerstead, he was like, yo, we're gonna go see this. We get there loaded, and we don't even get in. You know, because they're like, oh, it's actually a 21 show, but we bought tickets, you know.
Yeah.
Type stuff like that. And another thing about Doom is like he's like, you know, he was the guy with the mask, but then I remember once Mos Def turned to Yasin Bey, and he started wearing a mask too, and I was like, you know, he kind of opened it up for people to have characters, you know, like that.
Yeah. Well, and like with Madlib and Quasimodo, you know, just that like that alter ego almost, you know, or like just that different perspective on how you normally would present your art or your.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Right, you know, and
it's crazy. It's so sad, man. And I can't believe it happened in August or in October, and we're hearing about it New Year's Day.
Yeah,
you know?
That really surprised me, just because, you know, around October I started seeing like his sponsored ads or something. They started directing towards me, so then, you know, it was like, oh, I was gonna get the all green Doom hoodie to go with my Spartan Dunk Highs that I got.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just like, oh, let me hold off on that or whatever. And then boom, you know, like a couple months later, then you hear about it. Then you wonder, like, damn, so why were they trying to get off the merch while that was going on? But, you know, since then, everything's sold out. You know?
Yeah, and with in today's like culture, you know, they wanted the privacy. They probably wanted a normal funeral, or you know, I don't know the details, but you know, I think they handled it the best way they could, because when shit gets leaked, or like you hear about people dying, you know, I mean, like then there's like crazy stupid YouTube videos getting made, and then like, and it becomes kind of like a bandwagon thing. And I think now, with it being released the way it did, it kind of softened the blow as far as like this weird kind of like, I mean, like there's like YouTubers that are like, have you ever heard of J Station?
Nah, but it does sound familiar though.
Dude, like the day after like Mac died, and like after Pop Smoke, and you know, just like everybody, he'd make a YouTube video like, oh, I got the Ouija board and I'm gonna contact them. And it's just like, yo, man, like get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. Like this is so
weird.
It's
and it's like, do you really think if they were a spirit right now, they would want to talk to you? Like,
no, well, I mean, they're capitalizing on someone's death, you know, and obviously they're not, you know, and it's just like, and I mean, I'm not even trying to give them any
clout,
you know, not trying to name drop them or not, no clout, but it's just, you know, I think there was a lot of reasons why they like waited to release that information, and I'm glad they did. I whatever they want to do, man. I mean, he deserves all the props,
like shout out to his family. Like they hopefully got time to heal before all the gossip happened, because you know, I feel like so many people have been passing due to COVID. Was this even like a COVID-19 type thing, or you know?
Right. Like, yeah, that kind of gossip, man, is just. I mean, it's regardless of what it was. You know, it's unfortunate, and I just, you know, love to everyone close to him in his life.
Yeah, exactly. And that they got that time to heal before they told us, or at least got that time to process it. Because
Yeah,
you
for
definitely
sure.
know that so many people would probably be at their doorstep with it, and like
Well, with and the thing with Doom is like it's I mean, like I said, he's your rapper's favorite rapper. Like it's so meta how like famous he is. You know what I'm saying? Like he might not be a billionaire or whatever, but like everything he gave in this world is like nobody can. He's undeniable.
right.
Undeniable.
And you could
know?
almost say that he's still underrated. Like I never hear anybody say, "Oh, top 50 artists," and Doom should be up there. Just because.
Well, he's your top 50's top
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, and you got to think about like the whole soundscape of everything that came out. You know what I mean? Like if you
Yeah.
hear Flying
Yeah.
Lotus, you're like hearing something that derived from MF Doom and Madlib and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then you hear people like Kendrick
Yep.
Lamar, and then you know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's super crazy.
Dude, Odd Future, Tyler the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 100%. It's all rooted in those
Yeah.
things. You know, in his work.
So it's like he definitely deserves all that respect too.
And not even that he's underrated. I guarantee you, Doom could have been anything he wanted to be in the industry. You know what I'm saying? He chose to kind of be that villain. You know, that kind of anti-hero. He didn't want to be praised or like idolized as like your role model. You know, he you know he's intentionally sent decoys out to perform.
Right.
You know, he did that on purpose. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
I'm not your role model, but like I am.
Yeah,
low-key, You
yeah.
know, it's just like he could.
And
You know,
it's like everybody around him, like you got De La Soul, you got Ghostface Killer, you got
Yeah.
Raekwon, you got Nas, you got and I seen a bunch of videos after his passing when he didn't wear the mask, and he was still around everybody in New York like that.
Yeah.
So
dude, he could have been anything. Honestly, that was his choice. I feel like was to kind of stay
low key,
underrated, so to speak. But
Underground,
you
yeah.
know, he knew his fucking. I think he knew his talent.
Definitely. He didn't have to make like a, because in the early 2000s, I feel like the whole vibe was completely different. It's like you had to have a pop record, you had to have a dance record, a club record, and then you had to be able to rap. Then you had to do the gangster shit. You know what I mean? But he's just like, no, I'm gonna do what I know best. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It didn't hurt me or bother me, but it make me upset when like people would be like, Jay Dilla, and it's like,
right, like bitch.
Yo, I mean, I named my cat
Quit
Jay
playing
Dilla and
with
the
me.
other one Quasimodo.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, and not that means anything, but like, yo, I just like, I
I'm
really
a fan. Yeah,
embrace
yeah.
that shit.
It's like,
yeah,
this is my
and like
lifestyle
to
type stuff. This is
right, and like I know I'm not supposed to, but like I idolized what those guys did in music. You know what I'm saying? And I really wanted to be in that universe because again, it's so meta what they did with music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched this video of how Jay Dilla broke down a sample, and it fucking blew my mind, dude. And I just, and it's just like I'll never be that, and I don't ever want to
Yeah.
be because it's Jay Dilla,
Yeah,
man.
it's like
That's him. It's MF
right.
Doom.
It's like their offbeat patterns, they're like run on beats type stuff. Like it,
It's organic. It's
Very,
organic.
very.
It's not highly produced. It's not like mastered or like and like made to be played on the radio.
Right,
it's like,
right.
yo, man, this is for the gutter,
Right.
or like whatever,
and,
man.
and to think of the fact that like you never hear of a producer producing on his deathbed. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty crazy. Like your last few days on earth, and that's what you want to do. You never even hear about that. Like that was so intentional.
Yeah.
That's what makes his legacy even more. It's like, with the time I have, this is what I want to do, type stuff.
Exactly. I just, it's a deeper meaning to me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And to like, I know to you and like our friends is like, we took that shit
serious.
Like not
But
seriously.
Nah,
you know, it's
it's
just like
it was different for us. It was super different. Like it was on a deeper level.
Right.
Like we know things and
Yeah.
we kind of understand things about them, and you know what I mean. But then when it's like when you're in this whole thing for like years, and then somebody new comes up to you and asks you like, "Oh, do you know him?" Like you're not supposed to know or type. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like when these things become trendy to know
like
about
very
is when it's like
hipster
don't test my gangster.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not even that's a
I
metaphor,
know,
obviously, but
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
but you know, it's like I'm vetted. I feel like in those early days of like real good hip hop, you know, and like what it is now, what hip hop is now, I love. You know, I love it. You know what I'm saying? But Doom, you know, everybody better recognize what Doom is on this earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
And
it's like, you know, I've been doing like a lot of UK reactions, and everybody out there is wearing masks, but they're doing it for you know, different reasons. But now they got like their own like metal face dude guy who's out there with an actual mask out, and he's doing his thing. So it's kind of like, you know, they're doing their thing, but we kind of look at it as like a symbol of MF Doom, you know. And the craziest part is that Doom died the year that everybody had to wear masks, so he finally had to take his mask off.
Dude,
you know,
there's some conspiracies, something there,
yeah.
right?
it was the industry.
Man,
it was Sony, man. I swear to God, Sony, man, they wanted his masters. They're like, take the mask.
Oh
man.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, dude, what a crazy year it's been for hip hop in general.
Yeah. What's your like whole perspective of like so many people passing in like the last few years? You know,
it's unfortunate. I like I think there's a drug crisis in America, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like Juice WRLD, Mac Miller, and not just drugs, but like violence too, man. It's fucked up to see, and it breaks my heart because, you know, I was excited about a lot of these rappers, man. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know, like Pop was the new 50.
Right.
Mac was like just evolving into like such an amazing artist,
like
dude.
he came from just rapping and samples to playing his own music to producing his own albums.
Man, I mean,
and this is all independent type stuff, and he's the number one rapper in the world type thing, man. And
dude, and Juice WRLD, and you know, like
it's sad. Like,
I don't know. It's so sad, dude. And even like locally back home, Ty P, dude, like that shit really had me fucked up. I mean, Ty, I knew Ty for a long time, man, and he's a very talented rapper, and it breaks my heart for his crew, for Cram and everybody, man. Like that's not,
man.
It's tough to deal with, man.
Yeah, definitely. Even like, I don't want to say like, oh, I seen it or nothing like that, but I just kind of like, you know, when you can kind of notice when some people are at risk, you don't even know what they're at risk of, but you just know it could be whatever. I was just like, when I left one day and I seen all of them, I was just like, man, y'all stay safe, y'all stay blessed, like for real. And then I left out, and you know, because all that shit, you know, when I feel like when we see our people going through things like that, it's kind of hard to say something directly, you know what I mean? But you just kind of want to.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want to step your boundaries, and I mean, you saw me in that kind of place too. You know what I'm saying? And it took me coming to Japan to get out of that really really bad cycle of like, you know, I mean, dude, I feel really lucky to have the opportunity to be able to move out here to start fresh again, you know, because I don't think I would have. I don't know if I would have died, but I definitely wasn't getting any better
Yeah.
staying there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and then that's good for you, man. Like this is the most healthy. Like look at your skin glowing.
Hey.
You know.
Dude, I'm taking care of myself, man. I
Yeah.
really am. I'm trying my best
Yeah.
out here. You know, I'm working and I'm eating good. I'm taking vitamins. I'm drinking. Well, I'm staying hydrated, bro. I'm drinking 3 of these a day.
Okay.
I'm taking care of myself. You know,
Organic.
I'm trying to, man.
Numbers. Okay, that's always good, man. Because I feel like too, as we getting older, it's like the things that we did in the past are starting to catch up, whether we know it or not. You know what I mean? So.
Dude, I mean, yeah, I had a lot of that catch up with me this year, and that's another thing with 2020 was, you know, along with, you know, a lot of these rappers dying, we had COVID, and I think it was a big year of reflection for everybody, you know, and you know, it's just you know, taking accountability for your life, man, and taking responsibility for your future, you know. And being the best person you can be, and it's never like a destination.
Exactly.
You know? It's a daily journey that you just have to keep trying.
Right. It's just like, this is how I want to live my life. It's like you're choosing now. This is how you want your path to go. You know what I mean? And that's a great thing.
And it's just that self-awareness, you know. I think it's easy to not realize how you're living, you know, and then. You know, you might need someone to call you out to get that self-awareness of what you're doing wrong and what you need to be doing right. And, you know, I had that this year, and it's been a blessing.
Right,
you know?
right, man. Yeah, you've been going through, like, a lot of stuff, and you know, it is kind of crazy because, you know, there's, like, cancel culture, there's all of this stuff going on, but when people are actively trying to change and changing their lives, like, don't try to bring them down into it. I know that taking accountability, which, you know, everything that's happened with you, you know, you've stepped it up a lot. So yeah, but you know.
Well, and for me, I mean, I've been taking that taking that direction since I moved to Japan. Yeah. You know, I've been making that conscious effort to better myself. But I think this year in particular, for sure, has just been like a real you know, it's just like that heightened self-awareness of like, hey, I've been doing better, but I need to take it to the next level as far as just continuing and doing me and doing right for everybody, for you. You know, I mean, I owe it to everybody in my life to put out my best.
Yeah,
you know?
and I feel the same way. Plus, it's like, I feel like this year everybody got like, well, at least for me, it's like I feel like I've gotten more direct and more like aware of like everything. You know, maybe that's
you gotta be
exactly.
And I think you know, especially for you, man, it's like you know, you have to speak your truth. You know what I'm saying? I think for a lot of people, it's more about listening. You know, I know for me, it was about kind of just like being a listener and you know, internalizing that and not like trying to fight a fight that, you know, I'm a soldier in this fight, but it's you know, it's not my time to speak about it. You know, I'm just here to support. You know,
and it's like, you know, when everything that was like, you know, going on like last year and the year before that with like all these like cop killings and murders and things like that, all of that, yeah, man, that really affects you on a certain level because, you know, it's like you see people who are really not doing shit terrible. It's not like they're killing somebody, robbing or stealing or doing nothing. It's just like, he was selling cigarettes. He just got pulled over for a fake $20 bill when his car was probably worth $5,000, you know, or more.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, that really, I'm happy that people woke up. You know what I mean? Because
100%.
Yeah, because a lot of people just were, you know, everybody was just kind of, I feel like, dull to it. You know what I mean? Like everybody would get mad and then, maybe be on Instagram. But when people really stood up in Minneapolis and were like, yo, we're protesting, this is it. Like, we can't let this happen. I was super surprised because I was like, I felt like
Yeah.
everybody was so comfortable laying down, you know.
100%. Well, and you know, for me, you know, it broke my heart that I couldn't be there. You know, especially, I mean, you know, I mean,
Yeah, it's
I'm a person of color. My friends are people of color. It's it broke my heart, man. And I was worried about you. I was worried about you know, everybody. My you know, you guys are my family. And you know, I hope you're doing good, man. Like, you know, I see you're doing good. You know what I'm saying? We talk all the
Yeah.
time, you know. But I just want to be sure, you know,
yeah, man.
whatever you need, man. I always got
Yeah,
you.
for sure. Yeah, I definitely feel like, yeah, every year I've just been getting better. Like, you know, like there's been, you know, things that try to knock you off your pivot or things like that. But I feel like even since I lived in New York, or even since I lived in Chicago, it's just been like I keep learning these little lessons and then I just apply it. And then the next year, you know what I mean? It just keeps getting better and better. So,
Hey, and not for nothing, George. Like, you know, I've known you a long time. We grew up together. You know, pretty much. We spent. I was at your house every
right,
day.
like, you know
what
my
I'm saying?
sisters, you
I-
know my mom, you know my dad. you know
Yep,
everybody.
yep. They're family. We're you know, like, you are like one of my oldest friends, and I can testify that, like, I've seen you, like, become aware of, like, lessons and implement them in your life, man. And I want to say that you've been a great role model in my life.
Yeah.
You know, I think having you as a friend has done so much for my life. You know, and I appreciate you, man. And I just want to let you know that.
Okay,
You know,
man. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, man. And I feel the same way with you.
Dude.
Like, man, you opened me up to a lot of different shit too. You know what I mean? Like, I would have known who
I'm
Reliant
glad.
K was.
just get that.
No,
Cut
no,
that
no,
out.
no,
Cut
no,
that
no,
out.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but I know. No, but for real though, like, you opened my mind to a lot of stuff, and the way that you were doing it, because there was a way that I was doing it, like everything in my life, but when you did it, it was like 2.0. You know what I mean? Which,
Well, hey, I mean, like, bro. I mean, again, it's you know, I'll give you the title of being like the MF Doom in my kind of ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw what you were doing and kind of just made my version of it. And too, I mean, with you know, I'll say, like, you, Dylan, and Eddie, you know, are all big inspirations in my life. I see what all you guys did, and I like to think I just kind of took parts of that and made it my own. You know what I'm saying?
definitely, which is super cool, man. And you know, I feel like overall, you know, I can only see great things happening, and I can't believe that all came from, like, our environment and things that you know were going on, even with the music, you know, which
Yep.
influenced us even
Hey,
more.
again, bringing it full circle back to what, like, when we first met. You know what I'm saying? We met on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, "Oh, you skate? You skate? All right, come over. All right, yeah, come over." I was like, "All right, I'll come
Right.
over." I came over. It's like snowing out and shit, and we're skating in your garage.
Right.
You know, and then we're watching skate videos, playing Xbox, Tony Hawk Pro Skater,
right,
and shit.
and low key, I think I even got off at your bus stop too. Like,
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, like, honestly, I remember moving to White Bear and being on the bus, and you were like, "Yeah, oh yeah, you skate?" And I was like, "Yup." You're like, "All right." And then it was game over after that, dude.
Bro.
You know, I can't remember if you got off on my bus, but it was winter
Yeah.
break, and I remember, like, walking to your house in the snow with my skateboard and being
yeah, like this is how we setting shit up type stuff.
right?
Okay, yeah, man. Thanks for the conversation, man, and
Hey,
yeah.
anytime you want to do this, man, I'm happy to do this. Maybe we should start a podcast. I
That
don't
would
know.
be dope.
Maybe.
That would be super dope. We should see, like,
Hey, we could start
if
something.
people like what we're doing, man. Comment down below if you guys have your own opinions on what's going on, and with MF Doom, or if you guys have any tracks that you love. But yeah, man, let's get it cracking, man. Like, I'm down. You know, there's a lot of topics, and I would like to talk to you about some of them anyway. Like, some of this shit is out of pocket anyway. So
Yeah.
okay.
Hey George, I love you, man. I'm happy. It's good seeing you, man. And dude, keep on being you, man. You're one of the best people I have in my life, and I appreciate you every
I
day.
appreciate you too, brother. Okay, and with that being said, man, shout out to y'all for watching. Shout out to my guy Ken Yamazaki. Go check him out on Instagram and Twitter. I'll leave links in the bio. And that was another video / podcast. Boop.